We're going to go ahead and do a reading specifically for twin flames, for the divine feminine, for the divine masculine, to see what is going on. Today is Beltane. It is a beautiful day, a beautiful energy. You can expect that it's going to bring a lot of life force, a lot of really, really positive energy. Of course, Kundalini activation and awakening, and spiritual union energies for the planet. So today brings a really, really strong elemental energy, but also a galactic energy, where the earth is very much coming back to life. So when we deal with Somain, it is I call it a death portal, but Beltane is the rebirth portal. So for those of us in the northern part of the year, we want to be tapping into this energy as everything's kind of coming back to life. It can help to awaken us and help us to activate and tap into our own inner fire. But we're going to go ahead and do a reading specifically for twin flames, starting with the divine feminine, just to see what is going on. I wanted to come on here and say hi. Remember, this is just a general reading, so if you need a one-on-one session for your specific situation, I always recommend it. That's going to help you a lot with what is going on just for you, what's coming up, and what you are healing or working through in these energies, which twin flame tends to bring things to the surface. So if you need a one-on-one session, I have a ton of readings on my website. I am an energy healer. I have a ton of healings, clearings, and activations. I also do twin flame coaching, which is great for helping you through your process. I work with everyone at all different places of the journey. Doesn't matter where you're at. I have so many really, really nice things on my website to help you. My website is always up to date. I have a lot of really nice stuff up there for Beltane. So today's a powerful gateway to be working with the energies, doing energy work, and doing any type of healing and activation work. So you can flip through my site and go with what you're guided to. But let's go ahead and start with a reading for the divine feminine to start. Divine feminine collective, divine masculine, if you're watching, direct messages from your feminine. This person is worth waiting for. And I was thinking about that. Everyone's situation is unique as to what you're healing, but this is a connection that is meant to heal you on a deep level, whether you're working through triggers. And I was telling someone this morning, and I'm just going to repeat this message, that while we love to dance and tiptoe around people's triggers, oftentimes life doesn't work that way. And you're being shown your personal triggers in different ways, whether through your situations, things not going your way, I always say, things not going great, negative stuff that comes up on your path, so that you can actually heal and pinpoint these areas because they need healing. So life has a funny way of, bringing things to the surface that you may need to deal with or work on. We're all here to do that spiritual and soul work. That's why we're here on earth, and we're here to love without the ego 3D, I call it the 3D, 3D attachments. And so sometimes this is like loving this person as is now. Now, this isn't for everyone, but maybe some of you guys are in a space of doing that spiritual work on yourself. That's what separation is. I'm beginning to look at it a little bit differently. And so you're in a space possibly of like working on yourself, and you might feel like you're waiting for this person. You never are. However, maybe you're being guided to love this person from wherever you're at, or this place that you're at. This is actually how you open up full union energies, for any of you guys needing some tips. And so sometimes, we have to be in that space of union now. Now, I love these Beltane energies. We're going into my favorite time of the year now that we've got into May, right? We are doing Beltane. We're doing the 5-5. I do my birthday this week. And of course, I have some other things kind of lined up. So I love this time of year, and mostly just for the earth energy and the elemental vibes, right? Everything's coming back to life, right? And so I love it because we can tap into this energy. There's a lot of energy flying around, and we can bring a lot of new energies into our life. And so we're not supposed to be, it's not something that you wait on, like it's going to magically shift things. It's all about that inner union. And today is all about inner union between the divine feminine, divine masculine, and even the sacred marriage, and coming together with these aspects. And this could be earth and spirit, masculine and feminine, and kind of coming into union within ourselves. I want to remind you, divine feminine, that your divine masculine is always a reflection of your own inner masculine, however they are, however it has been, or whatever they're showing you. And so sometimes your twin flame can serve as I call it a teacher, as a teacher or a catalyst to show you ways you may be out of alignment, generally with yourself, or areas that you need to heal more. So some of you guys are in a really, really deep process, as we all are within this ascension, because this is also an ascension porthole too. and we're shifting into that 5D energy or that 5D frequency state. And so some of you guys are really doing that work on yourselves that is required within your ascension. And your twin flame is playing a huge part, whether in your story, in your awakening, or even in your ascension. My soul recognizes yours and longs to be with you. And this is part of, I don't think it goes away, but it's something that you can work through, because a lot of times in that, I call it the needy energy, in that needy, longing, obsessive energy, that's not healthy. And this is the space where attachments come up to be seen, released, and healed, and things within our energy field. And so it can stir things to the surface. And once you've healed, or you're in the process of healing, right? Because I don't know that it stops. You're in the process of healing, you're going to notice that that energy gets dialed down and you start to feel a lot better. Now, you're always going to have this connection that is probably going to be felt very strongly, and it doesn't matter. And some of you guys even test this connection. If you're apart from your twin flame, maybe you've met and you've gone apart for whatever reason, or you haven't met and you always knew they were there. You were looking for them. You were looking for something, right? That their soul seems to satisfy. So there is this powerful recognition between souls, and this isn't going to be anything about who they are, like how they look, anything like that. This is an energy felt, and because it's a soul recognition, and you're really recognizing the other, I want to call it the other half, the other piece of your soul, that when you come together, you merge into this complete divine feminine, we'll say wholeness together. But oftentimes there's more spiritual work to be done, or we wouldn't be on earth, right? I came to earth just to be with you. And so this is the powerful truth for many of you guys too, that you have done this for many different reasons, but sometimes it was because you knew the little icing on the cake was that you could, I know, forget everything and meet your twin flame again, that you would meet your twin flame once again. And this was part of your life plan or your soul's journey in some type of way. If you've met this person, or if it's playing out, or if you're longing to meet this person, you know this is part of what you're doing here. So some of you guys are feeling very strong energy pulls to your twin flame. You might be having strong dreams during this time, even if they're not of your twin flame. Like, you might be having messages come through, and especially if you're energy sensitive, or you know, if you're open, you're going to be feeling these energies quite intensely. So I've brought let me find the box. I brought my Beltane cards. They're a little weird. Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle cards today. We'll do these. They're a little, but they are my Beltane deck, right? I was looking for it. So we'll do these. Okay, Pegasus. Break free, dear one. Spread wide and far, for you're containable. You are limitless. So this is here to, I call it unwind you, right? This is here to help you to break through your own personal limitations, and to oftentimes face these limitations, blocks, and patterns so that you can break free of them if they're no longer serving you. This could be in different ways that this connection has triggered intense emotions within you, or shown you things about yourself through the mirroring nature of this connection, or is helping you to see deeper patterns that you need to break out of. This is the most intentional work that people are doing during this time, to face and acknowledge aspects within themselves that you may need to heal, integrate, or even release and clear. And your twin flame is great at showing you these things. Sometimes we need other people to show us things. Some of these things we may love, some of these we know may not want to acknowledge and face about ourselves, but your twin flame is the whole deal. They're going to show you things. This could be feelings and emotions you need to acknowledge, blocks, whatever it is. So there's a lot of things coming up around love during this time, and we're going to continue to kind of move through some of these energies. Now, today is powerful because we have a Cancer moon, but we also have a powerful North Node alignment, and this is where I start talking about destiny and fates and things like that. And this is very much part of your twin flame union. I always say sometimes you have to kind of hand it over to the universe, and things like that. I had on my page, someone was like, the universe, like, I mean, like that guiding energy in your life, call it what you want. And I mean it almost like in that way where it is guiding you, and you can tap in and connect with this energy. And it's everything that I'm about in my life, is, we'll say, staying connected, but better connecting with this energy, call it source, the universe, and to channel that into my energy field, my life, and to really tap into these ascension energies and light codes that are coming in, whether for personal healing, transformation, or even like bringing them into our manifestations and into our life on whatever level too. So this is a card connected with, we talked about breaking out of attachments on the energy level, things that have been holding you back. And this is where energy work is so powerful. And I was explaining to someone, life kind of comes up and can throw you curveballs and bring up things energetically, and this helps you energy clearing to help clear negative energies, situations, patterns, whatever it is, attachments, blocks, things that have been holding you back. So it's amazing for helping you to release any negativity. A lot of twin flames may go through some negativity with their twin flame. It's probably more normal than we think. This could be the situation with them, or even just individual feelings that you're experiencing that have been, I call it dredged to the surface or triggered to the surface, that you kind of need to deal with. So we have this card and it's clearing the energy blocks and activating your higher chakras, and this is how we can truly awaken and open up our energy field more too. So this is the blocks, like in life. And so sometimes we may or may not like this part of the journey, but we all have things that we need to kind of continue to work on or work through. Energy healing can really help you with that. Primal, there's no other way around but through the very truth that lives within you. And so then we're realizing that everything, whether your waking reality, your dreams, it's all just an aspect of you. Like, right? Okay, I know. And we're integrating this stuff, and so we have to go within. And I was kind of joking to my twin flame, but I'm serious. I said, it's like we have to go into, and hopefully you've done this, but for some they haven't, you need to go into the shadow work and into the shadows. But a lot of people, like, you go to put your toe in there and you're like, I'm not right, like, you know what I mean? But it's yourself. There are aspects of yourself that you may need to heal or work through. And so a lot of people haven't done that, and we're seeing the next wave of the awakening. We're seeing the next wave of the awakening. Today is the halfway point between the spring and the summer, right? So we have the spring solstice and the summer equinox, or whatever. Sorry, spring equinox, summer solstice. Sorry, I always get them backwards. Okay, so we are in the halfway point between the spring and the summer, and this is a powerful time because from now we begin to dance with the Pleiades. So May brings us a huge Pleiadian frequency, and then we go into, of course, the summer and the Lion's Gate and things like that. And we're going to see a huge wave that we're already in within the awakening, right? Where people are waking up, and like someone was posting about this, and if you haven't done that work to raise your frequency and do that shadow work, you're having to face this stuff within yourself and your own feelings. So we see a lot of people that are feeling a little stuck and maybe don't know what's going on fully, being a little bit like depressed and, you know, hermiting and, you know, not feeling great or grumpy with others. That was something someone was posting about in my group and things like that. And so you're seeing that the shadow work is coming up, and then your twin flame helps to probably show you aspects, but it isn't like anything negative. It's just so you can better work on things or work through things. So we have these themes coming up, especially as we're getting ready for Pluto to go retrograde, and that's the 4th, but we're already in these energies. So it's just shadow, repressed aspects, things you're avoiding, things you need to heal, and, you know, really diving into it. And this could be cycles of your life. We love to dip out of our lessons and get the same lessons over and over because you need lessons until you can complete them. And so it can also mean a cycle in your life that you're stuck in or needing to heal or complete or face within yourself. And so sometimes instead of, this is where the fight or flight kicks in and we run and avoid. This is where the runner pattern comes in too. But if we lean into it and we really go through this and allow life, the universe, to guide us through our lessons, they are powerful for the transformation and the healing and the benefits, and like releasing stuck energies or healing something within yourself. So we see that the twin flame journey is bringing that up big time. This is reading for the Divine Feminine Collective. Ribbons. For all lives in the silk of my binding, the knots in my truth, the eye of becoming, the witness swallowed in stillness. And I love this because I did put a couple posts up that weren't very popular about connecting with the elementals this morning. Perfect time to be connecting with the elemental energies and the Fae, and everything kind of comes alive. And so this is where the hand fasting, spiritual union, and, you know, Heroes Gamos comes into spiritual union gateway. So some of you guys are still processing karmic debris. Yes, this could be things going on currently in your life that you're working through. Or it could be things within yourself, and we hold on to a lot. We like to clench. I'm showing clenched fists, like clenched energies. We love to hold on to things that we're not able to process fully within ourselves. And this is where, once again, energy healing comes in. But this could be some type of karmic blocks, patterns, imprints, debris, things in your field, negative energy from your past. And I write a lot about this, and I talk a lot about this because I had already been through obviously a lot of healing. It's what I do on my journey, but it brought up a lot of things to revisit and go back into on the twin flame journey, on my twin flame path. And I was definitely paying attention to areas that, you know, you might need to go into more too. And so this could be simply inner child or old stuff or old relationship stuff. So we see a huge connection with Beltane and healing inner child aspects more, and even past relationship stuff or wounds and things that you may or may not know might be still affecting you now in your love life or whatever it is too. So this is like the soul merge, and I love this because it's the bringing together of the divine feminine. So today's Beltane gateway is about merging together the opposites. That's the twin flames. You might feel like that too, that in some effects you might feel like that, like you're a little bit opposite of this person. It's the merging together of that too. So we have a couple cards that are a little my divine feminine and masculine, because I have the Queen of Pentacles and the Hierophant, but both are in reverse, so there might be a block here, and we're going to look at this. So divine feminine side with the Queen of Pentacles, this represents you in the reading. This is like losing everything. Like this could be your masculine. Now, a lot of times people get stuck on blaming the masculine of however that went, but usually this is actually, I say, since some things are pre-planned out in your life to go that way, to trigger your abandonment wounds, and this is so that you can face them and heal them. And that oftentimes it brings up a whole porthole of like everything that you need to work through within yourself too. Some of you guys might have gone through repeated cycles, and if so, you know, this is your path, and maybe not being fully ready. So this could be, you know, losing things in your life, but probably you're masculine on some level. You might feel like you've been through loss or, you know, abandonment with the masculine, with the connection or whatever it is. Simple, gentle reminder that things might be going that way for you. So we think things aren't working out, or, you know, they're not going the way we want. But however, your lessons are all actually designed for you to help you, or to help you heal or grow in some type of way. And this is a connection that is associated with soul growth. And so we want to grow and evolve on a spiritual level. Now, there's some type of block here with the masculine, and this could be, I always say this is my commitment beer, but it doesn't have to be. This is like, you know, maybe they don't want a 3D conventional relationship. So we have in our head what relationships look like, and they might not be giving that to you or ready for that on some type of level. And so this is like everything. They might be doing their own thing or whatever it is too. It just kind of depends on how that's translating. So maybe some of you guys haven't fully made it into union, or you might be dealing with some type of block that keeps coming up on their side. And so on the feminine side, this is fear of abandonment, creating control issues and jealousy issues, or those type of dynamics. It can translate in different ways. Holding on too tight, a relationship rooted in attachment, and maybe you've had to let go of that and purge out these attachments to come, and this is where people get stuck and stay in separation. You're supposed to come back together healthier through whatever process you're going through when you heal, okay? So a lot of people get stuck in the unhealed, messy parts. So you will go through unhealed, messy parts on the way to union or in union. The things will come up, guaranteed. So not to get stuck if that's you, if that's resonating for your situation in those places, and things like that. So let's see, we have the Four of Wands. This is my favorite card. If you're in separation, there will be a reunion. You will come together. This is like both sides working out their blocks and issues to come together in a healthier way. So if you haven't come together, or you've come together and you've split, it's so that maybe you guys get the growth that your soul needs and work through the lessons, so that when you come back together, it's better, healthier. Like, right, by the way, like maybe you weren't fully ready. You might have thought you were. This could be divine timing at play, and we hate that, because like some of you guys, that is I don't want to call it an obstacle, because all obstacles and blocks will clear when you're ready, the universe, right? However, there's something there. Some of you guys are already in union, so this won't apply to you. And this is like really, really nice energies from this gateway. This is connecting with each other. This is love, support. working through any issues or blocks within the union so that you can open up more in that union. Or like I said, if you're in separation, a reunion happening. This is my happy family card, by the way. And I love that. It's like the whole vibe of it. It's like creating that 5D heaven on earth reality. And this is what Beltane helps us to do, to tap into and channel those kind of energies. It's what you came here to do as twin flames, to fully step into your power and your gifts. Some of you guys are taking back your power and not understanding that, especially some of the ones in separation. Taking back your power and fully standing in your power. Some of you guys in your relationships are learning how to not give away your power. That's watering yourself down, people pleasing, acting different. You're needing to stay in your full power right now. So you're learning how to do that through this connection, however it might look like to you. This is something coming up for you specifically. Doesn't matter where you're at in the process, and things like that. So we're going to go ahead and do Divine Masculine reading real quick. Okay. Divine Masculine Collective. What's going on for the Divine Masculine Collective? Divine Feminine, if you're watching, direct messages from your masculine. I need a break to heal myself. And this is a masculine that is focusing on their healing. One of the biggest blocks I see on the Divine Feminine side, I'm not understanding that when the masculine takes space to go. Now, usually they might not start out like that, but you'll probably see they end up like in hermit mode and by themselves. They are going within, they are doing awakening, and they're working on their thoughts and their own healing and being by themselves. And a lot of feminines kind of try to push and struggle against that process, when it's actually giving the Divine Feminine the space they need to heal, and sometimes in solitude. And then this Divine Masculine may be too. It just kind of depends. So this could be in union. They need a little bit of personal space, like, right? Yes. And things like that, so that they're not losing themselves and they can maintain their energy. That's what it's all about, right? And we know that too much can be too bad on our energy. In separation, they might be actually taking the time to heal. Now, some people will say that. I hear this all the time. I've heard everything about twin flame, and I've seen it all too on Earth. But I know a lot of people say that's not true. They're not healing. They're off doing whatever, maybe their own lessons. They're not healing. They're with a third party. They're not healing, whatever. Actually, any of these situations, no matter how they look, they are meant to heal things. So the thing is that I see when dating is, if someone has blocks with you, they're Divine Feminine, right? But we're doing a reading for the masculine, or vice versa. They're going to have them with everyone. They're not going to get in another relationship and magically all of their blocks went away for this new person, okay? Yeah, every block that came up with you, they still have them until they heal them. And so sometimes, this is where the nature of karmics comes in. Why do we learn with karmics at all? Because they're going to teach them certain things that the Divine Feminine can't while staying in your frequency, okay? And usually it sounds just like that. Oh, I've gotten in a connection with a new karmic. It's so amazing, right? And all right, yeah, okay. Now, the biggest problem I see is those that are being guided to stay solo and work on themselves to continue to prepare for union, or like not understanding, like, where's my karmic? Like, it's actually a good thing when you clear your karmic cords, attachments, and contracts. You don't want to continue to do those lessons. I call them of the 3D, by the way. Like, right? When you actually raised up your frequency to a 5D level and you're no longer engaging with toxic connections, people you know are bad for you, karmic situations, karmic partners, this is a good thing. It means you've done that level of work, that you're okay in your own energy. You're not going to chase after toxicity and inconsistency, I hope. You're going to be like, okay, maybe I'll just go take a nap. Like, right? Maybe I'll just go recharge or something. Jokes aside. Okay, so this is the thing about, sometimes though, this is Earth, and you can run into all different types of situations. So we don't want to judge ourselves or our masculine for their lessons. Now, some of you guys may be dealing with a situation, and I'm going to leave it in this category if you are. I know I try to keep it light. They were not ready, or you were not ready. And when you say, okay, well, they weren't ready, you were not ready, you have more inner work to do. And what a way to accelerate things than throwing another person in the middle, right? Or a situation and things like that. So some of these situations that you start out in or end up in with twin flame are actually designed to help you both through different things. I've seen so many people who do go through these type of situations and they come back better. They've had a lot of the stuff triggered with the karmic, and you know, whatever, they've had to face some of this stuff or see it and realize their issues or whatever it is, to help them become aware of their patterns too. So no matter what your situation, you have two individual souls, you're both healing stuff. And we also have to respect that you kind of have, even though you have this space of union, which is oneness and togetherness, you have your own lessons to do here on earth. It's a little bit like, you're dating someone, I say in high school, you're dating someone and you're taking all math classes and they're taking all science, right? And so we have different courses and lessons that we sign up for to experience here on earth. So you do have your own individual paths. I think the best connections that are coming together in the 5D are very supportive of your individual path, yet when you have that time, you're finding that person, you're spending your free time with them, right? You're making that space of togetherness, but also respecting if you guys have, other lessons, things going on, things in life coming at you and whatever that is, and kind of being respectful of that too. So this masculine is healing. They might be needing a little bit of space to heal and things like that. So I see we get into these cycles. This is what kicks in the runner. So one person pulls back, they need space to heal and really to regulate their own energy and emotions, or they're feeling drained or tired or zapped and can't keep up. They need a minute. And I see this kick people into gear that have anxious attachment, and it literally puts them in this chasing cycle where they're reaching out all the time, texting all the time, pushing them, trying to do this, trying to see them, and not respecting where they're at in the journey. And it's like, it gets intense for the person that is in the avoidant pattern of needing a minute. Okay, well, that's what we should call it. And then it kind of kicks that into gear. That's exactly what the anxious attacher needs to heal to be more healthy, because I found that the anxious attacher is usually the one who's drawing energy from the other person, not realizing it. And that's why they get into that. It's almost like an addiction, needy cycle, chasing them instead of connecting with source and becoming your own source within. And so this is where the other person needs to heal, not the runner, right? Not the one pulling back, working on their healing or their own lessons. The other person that is kicking into overdrive, whoever that is in the dynamic. So seeing these situations are actually orchestrated to help to heal you, whoever's listening to this message, depending on how that is too. And so, are we able to really love someone like that without our expectations and placing these on the other person? Are you able to really love this person even if it's at a distance, if you're needing to do it at that time? Are you willing to wait for this person because you're that secure in the connection that you both know that you only want to be with each other at a certain point, right? And that you've both committed to that level of union, whether there are spaces together or even spaces you need to take apart, to whether it's handle your own lessons and things. And we all knew that coming to earth, that we would have other karmic lessons and karmics. And you know what karmics are? They're past life connections that we owe a debt to, that we need to wrap things up with. And you're lucky if you have a twin flame around while you're going through that to help you and to help motivate you to do what you need to do, which is take back your power from these places that siphon us in these toxic karmic cycles, whether they're cycles within ourselves and patterns and lower behaviors, or with other people and external forces that we need to kind of, we'll say, exit or get out of. So some of you guys are dealing with challenging circumstances, but this is the twin flame journey. I feel it's a series of tests and initiations to see what you're about. This is our, I call it Hunger Games lately, jokes aside, right? And to see what you're about. We know that Earth is one of the harder planets and that we come here for soul evolution and to be tested on the spiritual level too. So you might feel you're kind of being tested in this connection. It's up to you always what you choose to do. I'm clearing my karmic past and healing from the past karmic relationships I've been through. Be patient. Some of the past relationships I was in have hurt me deeply and have left me very wounded. Now, I see this to pay attention to what your twin flame is healing in their life, because it will mirror aspects that you need to heal within yourself. So I'm thinking of a couple situations, like we all know I'm healing from a lot of like toxic family stuff in childhood, but even at this point I'm always still healing from it. And I think my twin flame probably mirrors that in the relationships. And I can think of people like, their twin flames healing from a relationship, you are too then. And so they might reflect that, whether you're healing from family inner child patterns or even relationship stuff and things like that too. So whoever this couple is, because you cannot look at yourself separate, you need to look at you and your twin flame as a unit, a couple anyways, regardless. You're always in union anyway. There's no deeper union than that soul connection, right? So I call you a unit. You're a unit, you, both of you. And so whatever the other half is healing, so are you. Like, right? I know, interchangeable, like a little Rubik's Cube. But so just remember that they can give you great insight into whatever they are showing you on a soul level. They are a reflection of your own soul when you look into them as the mirroring. So this is someone healing from karmic connections. We did a lot of talking about that for the masculine, and this could be old wounds coming up or that you're still working through. Higher forces are trying to guide us together. I was explaining to someone this morning that your spirit helpers, as I call them, they're always never going to give up, no matter how it looks. On both of you guys are destined to come into union. And there are going to be things, this is where your whole life could be uprooted and things could be flipped upside down just to make that happen. It doesn't matter. When we talk about destiny in the universe, we know how powerful of a force the universe is. When it's time and when it wants something, it will make it happen. You could be, I hate to say this, married with children, as a lot of people are, and it won't matter. You'll meet your twin flame and you'll be very drawn to them. It won't matter the circumstances of your life. It won't matter your limitations, your ego limitations. It won't matter your blocks. I know a lot of people have like sworn off love, a lot, especially the masculine, and this person comes along, right? Like, so it won't matter. All right, destined energy in the air, helping you to clear karmic patterns, wounds, and situations. I know it's going to become very unbearable and uncomfortable, some of the 3D situations that you used to allow as you're going through this soul growth with your ascension. So we have this rebirth, and of course with rebirth, we have letting go of the old, right? You are enough, letting go of expectations. We talked about ego expectations and truly loving this person minus the expectations. You have a soul contract with this person and also for a mission. You have a soul agreement with this person. You didn't meet them by chance. Nothing is random here. You agreed to meet this person in divine timing to play a role in your awakening and to help you, give you what you needed. Maybe if there was some type of karma your soul still owed out, they helped you to act that out for you. I know, bingo, bingo, bingo. We love to blame the other person. If it has gone karmic with your twin flame, they are acting out stuff for you. Okay, and people don't like this. Look at the patterns of your life. Is this familiar? How the cycle has gone? Is something coming up that's familiar? This will give you clues. So they help you to clear karma if that's what your soul needs. They may help you to work through certain things. If you have a codependent dynamic, they might be super independent and not putting up with that. If you're bad with boundaries and you're really, really unhealthy, we talked about siphoning that way, right? Okay, if you're not respectful of people's boundaries, they might have real strong boundaries. Or, and these are just examples, you know, like maybe you have some issue with addiction in your life and they're super sober, and it could be all different dynamics in your life to help you. And so things like that. If you've had hidden traits and shadow aspects that you need to work through, like jealousy and control issues, they're probably going to walk all over these things and bring them out of you, or whatever it is that your soul needs to heal, to let go of things and to ascend fully. So to ascend, we have to let go of all the lower stuff in our life that we're holding on to. Not an overnight process. Okay, we have the Lover's card. This is where we are at today. Love lulls all sorrow and bewitches flesh, mind, and breath, reminding me that I am unafraid of the unfurling winds of my eternity. And so this is literally, this is your, I call it star-crossed lover, because some of you guys might feel like that. This is your destined lover. You meet across time and space. You didn't come to Earth alone. You signed up with this person and planned out that life plan with them. Like literally you guys sat and talked about it and figured it out together. And you'll flip roles in different lifetimes, right? Yeah, I know. They could be the runner, chaser in this life, vice versa. So you tend to have planned out some of it. Now it's up to you as to what you're making of this, but remember this is a connection that can easily shake off any type of karma, your karmic debt, karmic past, so that you can rise into and change your own destiny. This is about taking control of your narrative at a certain point and stepping into your power. So this is powerful energy for your relationship, whether healing separation wounds and coming into reunion, or bringing them into your reality, or even within your union, really elevating that. Maiden, demand what is yours and take back what was taken. Reclaim what you've gathered, all of you. And I love this because this is like my soul split, soul retrieval, where every bad relationship you've had, every bad ending you've had, every negative trauma you've had, you've kind of left a piece of yourself. I call it an essence of your soul in these places, and we can become fragmented. And this is why we have such a need to become whole again through energy healing and things like that, or to reclaim these pieces or whatever it is. And this is what we're really doing, going through life with every soul that we meet, every experience that we have, encouraging us to do this deeper work. So this is taking back your power big time, because I have the strength in reverse and this is my Leo energy, but there is a block here in your solar plexus. Why energy healing? I'm just going to always keep saying it, right? Energy healing, come find me. Anyways, there's some type of block here in your solar plexus. This might be making you feel a little too exposed, vulnerable, not having strength, low self-esteem, and letting fear and anxiety take over. This is at your own head and your own mind. Oftentimes with your thoughts, you're going to notice this. So when we have an energy imbalance or a block somewhere, we notice it in our thoughts. Oftentimes. Your thoughts are always alerting you to deeper things, especially rooted in the energy level. So some type of problem there with that. Maypole, I am fertile to what I seed, for there is reason to dance and drink upon the riches I receive. This is a beautiful gateway for love, abundance, connecting with the earth, and really that rebirth porthole. So really pay attention, because today is a powerful day for manifesting. As we continue, the moon continues to fill, and we're continuing to go through this moon cycle. This is actually one of the more powerful times for manifestation and what you're putting out there right now. But you might feel like you're being tested right now. We have my Temperance in reverse. And I always kind of explain this card because it's such an archangel card. There's some type of imbalance. You might feel out of control with this situation. It's going past your control. It could be turning into a control drama. It could be really shaking you up at your core. It's meant to. It could be shaking up stagnant or repressed energies or negative energies or something that you need to heal within yourself. So there's something out of balance energetically within this connection. Remember, the external is always a reflection of the internal. So this is why the energy healing will help a lot, if so, because we have some type of karma card coming up. My Justice, so this is some type of karmic situation. This could be good or bad and things like that, but sometimes we think of karma as negative energies in our life we haven't dealt with that come back around. So if we had a negative connection with someone, it tends to resurface, something we need to work out. This is why we really want to be healing and doing energy work, because if we're not dealing with our trauma, we're going to deal with our trauma through our personal connections, and we don't want to continue to attract people we're going to continue to draw wounded people to us that probably hurt us or make us not feel good on some level. So we want to heal so that we're no longer attracted to or calling in unhealthy dynamics or unhealthy connections at all into our life. So the more that we heal, we can heal our union too. So this is like the motivation that you need to heal something. There might be some type of karmic loose end in your life that might be blocking union. Are you in union now? So some of you guys in union, you might have things kind of getting in the way or coming up that you need to deal with. It could be in areas of your life broadcasting that. Or if you're not in union, perhaps there's some type of karmic situation, block or situation in the background that might be kind of getting in the way of union. If it's in your field, it's in your shared energy field. So sometimes maybe we didn't resolve something fully, and there's some type of, because we have the X card. It could be a karmic ex partner or something we didn't resolve in our field, and you share an energy field with your divine feminine. So they're very sensitive to things in your field too. It just kind of depends. So we have a big karmic clearing coming up with this reading for the divine masculine, and needing to, we'll say, wrap up karmic loose ends or let go of something karmically. Could be a partner, person, whatever. Okay, I'm going to go in that now. I'm going to be around doing Beltane activations all day and healings. I have a ton on my website. Great day to find me. If you need me, just go ahead and book me on my website, sparksofdivinelighealing.com. Have a beautiful day.